let's get right out there. They just handed down a decision in the Birthright case. This is something that we have been closely watching. Our chief legal correspondent, Katie Barlow, is live outside of the court. Let's join her with what's been happening. Katie, what'd you find out?
Hey guys, so we actually just got our first opinion of the day. We know we're expecting 5 more, including that case out of Montgomery County Schools. But the first one was one of the major decisions we've been waiting on. We call it the Birthright Citizenship case. It's about universal injunctions, so the power of an individual federal judge to block the president from implementing his executive order nationwide. The Supreme Court just limited universal injunctions, so said it's likely beyond the scope of an individual district court judge's authority to block the president across the country from implementing his executive order, and rather they seem to have granted the Trump administration's request to limit the district judge's order to the parties who are before him. So one of the cases is right out of Maryland, where a district court judge blocked the Trump administration from implementing their order on birthright citizenship, which would essentially take away birthright citizenship from individuals who are in the country illegally. A group of pregnant women filed their lawsuit in Maryland, and the district judge in Maryland blocked the Trump administration nationwide. But now the Supreme Court appears to be saying that likely exceeds the judge's authority in Maryland, and also 2 similar orders that were issued in Washington and in Massachusetts, also in birthright cases. So it seems that the district judge in Maryland will now be limited to the parties before him or her. And the ramifications of this decision, as were discussed during oral argument, is what happens when or if the president is trying to implement a policy that is blatantly unconstitutional, which a number of individuals argue that his interpretation of birthright citizenship is blatantly unconstitutional. In fact, a federal judge has called it that. And so the question is how or whether that could be blocked nationwide. I haven't read the full opinion, so I don't know for now exactly how that's going to work. But it appears that a district court judge is going to be limited to the parties before him or her for now. Now, I'll also say this decision appears to be 6-3 with the dissent, and the dissent saying it's a bit premature to address the ultimate issues here. So I'm going to have to go back and read. But for now, pretty significant that the Supreme Court is saying that it appears beyond the scope of a district judge's authority to block the president from issuing something nationwide. One other point I'll make before we end here. This is not necessarily political, as it seems now, because it's a district judge blocking the Trump administration from enforcing his executive order nationwide. What has been good for the goose has been good for the gander in this case, and lawyers representing parties from both sides of the political aisle have benefited from nationwide injunctions, and this is something that justices appointed by both presidents have quibbled with and have said can be a problem. So we'll have to go back and read more of the decision. Again, we're expecting 5 more, including Montgomery County Schools, so we'll have more for you a little bit later this hour.
We've seen a lot of the 6-3 decisions come down along ideological lines. You know, Katie, the bottom line, I know you have a lot of fine print and legalese to go through right now to break down for us to make it easier to understand. But, you know, the big question that people are going to have on hearing this is, does this mean an end to birthright citizenship? Are you getting that feel, or is this essentially saying that this now becomes a court-by-court decision?
No, this is about just the power of federal judges now. We've been calling it the birthright citizenship case, and of course it will now affect individuals in this country beyond those 3 universal injunctions who are in the country illegally. But for now, this is about the power of a single federal district court judge, which sits under Article 3 of the Constitution, versus the president, and that battle for power. And here the court appears to be saying it's beyond the scope of a district court judge to be able to block the president from implementing his executive order nationwide.
All right, makes sense. I know you got a lot of homework to go through in the meantime before you see you again, Katie, but I appreciate you breaking it down just as this decision has been coming down from the Supreme Court. Thank you. Our chief legal correspondent, Katie Barlow, outside the Supreme Court this morning.